This is Mac OS Ken.
Ugliness around iPhone production, Travelin' Tim's off to Arizona, and no rest for developers. It is Friday, the 2nd of December, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your order when you visit simplysafe.com/macosken today. This show is also sponsored by Rocket Money. Have you really looked at how much you're spending on monthly subscriptions? It can be tough to weed those out from other charges. And if you've got them hitting different payment methods at different times, well, I don't want to say forget about it because probably you already have. There's an easy way to get a handle on them, though. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The Rocket Money app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place. See some you don't recognize or just don't use anymore? Rocket Money can take care of those. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is hit cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Sounds like an easier way to deal with subscriptions to me, and one that could lead to serious savings. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MOK. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MOK. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/MOK. If you want a positive spin on Apple's current quarter, just imagine how good it might make the same quarter a year from now look. I'm not saying it's setting up an easy compare, but yikes. Apple Insider has word of a note from analysts at Piper Sandler. That firm thinks Apple may see revenue drop $8 billion with a B dollars this quarter due to production problems for iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. While the Piper Sand people think Apple will try its best to catch up to some of the production in December, November was really not good. The firm says utilization of Foxconn's iPhone City plant in Zhengzhou, where most of the Pro phones are made, may have fallen to 50% or below. That is the first time I've heard anybody say it might have been as high as 50%. The good news, Zhengzhou is once again open for business, though there is a lot that'll make getting back to normal slow for the Zhengzhou plant. Perhaps the biggest issue, well, it's hard to say what the biggest issue is. There are a couple of huge issues, though. One has to do with staffing. No doubt you remember the stories. Workers fled the factory in October and November due to COVID fears, a lack of food, inadequate medical care, and the strains of working in a closed-loop system. Hiring has come in fits and starts since then, with one hiring push halted thanks to a lack of space for incoming workers to quarantine. Zhengzhou's been in lockdown a time or two over the past couple of months. Problems with payment led to a bunch of people who had been hired to riot. Foxconn responded to that by paying them the money they were promised as a recruitment bonus to please go away. Maybe hiring will go better this time, except for the other big issue. A piece from 9to5Mac highlights a Bloomberg report that says despite the latest lockdown ending in Zhengzhou, iPhone City remains in a closed-loop operation that curtails workers' movements on campus, potentially complicating the effort to resume full production. Otherwise, it's awesome. So Apple's going to miss $8 billion in holiday revenue in Piper Sandler's estimation, and yet they are still all about the Cupertino company. According to Apple Insider, Piper Sandler says that overall it continues to believe that Apple remains a formidable brand. The firm maintains an overweight rating on Apple shares. Piper Sandler's price target on the shares is $195. Apple execs and investors looking for solace can find it in this. before the production problems, the iPhone 14 Pro was a hit. In fact, another piece from Apple Insider has new numbers from October from Counterpoint Research showing Apple's latest Pro phones crushing it in China. The report has Counterpoint indicating that 1 in 4 smartphones sold in China during October 2022 was an iPhone, with the iPhone 14 Pro Max being the country's best-selling device. While China's smartphone market was down 4% from October to November, sales of iPhone were up 21%, according to Counterpoint. Back out to year-on-year, and Apple still did better than the rest of the smartphone market, though it did see decline. By the firm's reckoning, Apple Insider says year-on-year, smartphones in China dropped 15% in October. Apple's drop was only 4%, according to the report. Look for Travelin' Tim to travel next Tuesday. A Bloomberg report says that Apple CEO Tim Cook is headed to Arizona for ceremonies around the TSMC chip plant being outfitted there. Perhaps unusually, he will not be the most prominent person in attendance. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo and President Joe Biden will also be on hand. Of course, that's news for a day. The longer-lasting news involves plans for the plant. Originally slated to make 5-nanometer chips, secret people said to know something about something say the plant will instead produce 4-nanometer chips. That move was decided after U.S. customers such as Apple pushed the company to do so, according to the secret peeps. Quoting the report, TSMC previously said it would make 20,000 wafers per month at the Arizona facility, although production may increase from those original plans, the people said. Apple will use about a third of the output as production gets underway. That is expected to happen sometime in 2024. TSMC will also commit to adding a second nearby plant, which will make even more advanced 3-nanometer chips, according to the Bloomberg sources. While it may have been slowed by last week's Thanksgiving holiday in the States, the Big Bam Beta Parade rolls on. A few pieces from Mac Rumors on Thursday had Apple seeding the 4th betas of iOS 16.2 and iPadOS 16.2 to developers, along with the 4th beta of macOS Ventura 13.1, watchOS 9.2, and tvOS 16.2. Not slowing for the holidays this year are App Store operations. Apple usually closes the App Store's behind-the-scenes stuff around the Christmas holiday. Not this year, according to a piece from iDownload blog. In years past, says the report, the App Store freeze meant no new apps or updates for users to download during the holiday season. But during the 2022 holiday season, new submissions and updates to existing apps will keep flowing. Good for developers, though kinda grinchy sounding for the Apple people who actually have to do the work. Might be a skeleton crew, though. While the company says it is pleased to remain open and accepting submissions, it does warn that reviews may take a bit longer to complete from December 23rd through the 27th. More news in a moment, but first a word from Simply Safe, the right way to protect your home and sponsor of today's show. Love and joy come to you this holiday season, and watch out for bad guys. This time of year, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike across the country. That is why the good people at Simply Safe Home Security are offering 50% off their award-winning security system. You know a lot of the stuff I love about Simply Safe. You getting to choose just the elements you need to keep your home and family safe. You setting it up yourself. No strangers in the house. Just an easy setup that took me well under an hour. And there's a 24/7 monitoring team. For less than $1 a day, they keep an eye out, sending emergency services as soon as a threat is detected. And right now, Simply Safe is offering the gear at 50% off. so that more families can feel safe and secure this holiday season. SimpliSafe was named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report for a third year in a row, and now you can have it for less. Don't miss your chance for massive savings on a great security system. Get 50% off any new system at simplisafe.com/macOSKen today. This is their biggest discount of the year. SIMPLI. That's simplisafe.com/macOSKen. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. There's another pair of designer Beats on the way. Apple Insider says the Japanese fashion house Wacko Maria has shown off a limited leopard print design of Apple's Beats Flex entry-level wireless earbuds. The piece says the new pair is meant to match Wacko Maria's Hawaiian-style shirts and clothing. They'll run buyers $70, same as a regular pair of Beats Flex earbuds. If you just gotta have them, best of luck to ya. Apple Insider says it is not clear whether the edition will be available for a limited time, but it will be available from December 2nd, 2022, that is today, online or via selected stores in Japan. And finally today, why do we keep calling working Apple I computers rare? Seems like every time you turn around, somebody's selling one, and seems like somebody just turned around. 9to5Mac says RR Auction has a new lot of Apple memorabilia up for bids, including one of the, quote, rare, unquote, machines. According to the piece, the fully functional, not in a data way, Apple I computer is a Byte Shop style version of the machine, complete with all the components and accessories required for operation. Cooler than all of that, the piece says the board was numbered 01-00002 by Steve Jobs himself. Be ready to spend big if you go for it. 9to5Mac says the machine is expected to fetch over $375,000. Now maybe that's a bit rich for your blood. Or maybe you already have a working Apple I computer, but want something from the Tim Cook era. Well, you're in luck as well. The same auction features an Auburn University football signed by Apple's current CEO. Auburn University is Cook's alma mater. The football is expected to go for somewhere over $1,000. There is other Apple kit up for auction as well. It's all part of a 300-plus item science and technology lot. Bidding is open on all of it now on the RR Auction site. The auction ends on the 15th of December, just in time for the holidays. Today on the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast, I try to convince TMO managing editor Jeff Butts how great things are going to look for Apple in about 14 months, assuming nothing else goes wrong. Also, Android is getting one communications app to rule them all, and ditch the green text bubbles to boot. Jeff fills us in on Sunbird on the Daily Observations podcast from the Mac Observer, online at macobserver.com or wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Rocket Money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and save at rocketmoney.com/MOK. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your order when you visit simplisafe.com/macOSKen today. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-3888. 4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.